All right, people. So this has been a very depressing week. I just strongly believe that we have lost our way as a nation and we are refusing the guidance that is being offered because we want to fit in so well into society. After seeing the video of the students in a very serious compromising position, and while watching that video, I saw how their future ahead of them has been demolished. Let's talk about that today on today's show. Welcome back to Real Talk. All right, so I truly believe that we are losing ourselves as a society here in Jamaica. We are so caught up in the untrue realities of this world. We're not even seeing our own reality unfolding right in front of us. It is just such a shame, like a total shame. As a parent, we are given a responsibility to protect and guide our children. And once upon a time in a country that we lived in, it took a village to raise a child. Now, we have glamorized selfishness to a degree that doing it on your own is a thing. Like if you do it, if you're not doing it on your own, you ain't nothing, you're nobody, you're nothing. That's just basically what it is now. It's being glamorized. Now, it is commendable when a single parent grows their children on their own, right? Definitely we need to stand and applaud for something like that. But that's not how it is ordained to be. It should be a mother and a father growing their children together, right? Now, I'm sure, and I maybe can't say this for everyone, but I am totally sure that if these single parents if they had a choice, it would definitely not to be growing their kids alone and actually having a supportive partner who would be there to help them to grow their children and take a lot of the pressure that is on them, right? Now, seeing this video of an underage boy who's having sexual relations with an underage girl is just despicable. It is just despicable, and I just can't understand why it's happening in our society and why we can't do something to change this in our society. Also, what adds into all of that video is the fact that this boy is physically abusing this young girl while she's trying to actually stop the act, right? And to top it all off, this video went viral, which is, illegal, but it's Jamaica. It went viral. Everybody is seeing it. And going and flocking to social media after everyone has probably seen the video or actually having a discussion about it, some of the remarks from the adults on social media really shows why the children act the way they do. And I'm just going to show you some of these while I talk about it. I'm not even going to read some of them. You read them for yourselves and just see what I'm talking about, right? Like, I can understand that it's an emotional feeling. It's a lot to sit and watch a video like that and not feel the way you feel. But I think that as much as how we can feel the way we feel, sometimes we need to learn to come to our senses and actually logically think this thing through. We're not dealing with adults here. We're dealing with children who have adult behaviors, right? Now, for myself personally, as a mother and an aunt, I have two teenage kids. Well, my niece and nephew, they're teenagers, right? And this video grieves me. This video really grieves me, right? Watching the video, I was so angry. I was so angry with these boys. I was especially angry with the one that was also physically abusing her. It was just crazy. And as I've stated before, 99% of the time, we as females tend to use our emotions to handle situations. And that's not the way to go about things, right? So I had to really gather myself before commenting on this topic because I didn't want to go ranting off into my emotions. I wanted to be able to have a straight head on my body so that I could actually discuss this topic with you guys, right? Now, first off, I strongly believe that the government needs to implement a law that holds our parents accountable for their children's actions. Once you are underage, parents should be held accountable for their children's action. I am so dead. I don't care how anybody wants to spin it and say, oh, sometimes we as parents, we do the best that we can, but then the kids this and the kids that. Oh, no, darling. If you allow your kids into a certain circle and you do not take the initiative to find out who your kids are hanging around, who your kids this, and that, you can't say, oh, it's not my fault. Everything that happens with that child is your fault. I am sorry. I'm a parent, so I can strongly say this. If anything, my son, my niece, or my nephew, or any of my future kids is going to do to someone, or, they're getting problems, so I am going to be held responsible. Everybody's going to say, oh, it's your child. It's your this, it's your that. So why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Right? It's going to always come back on you. Right? So let's start with the young girl. So I have a couple of questions that I want to actually ask one of the first one is, why is it that a girl child was either willing to go with the boys or to actually take a direction from is either they were heading to school or they're heading home from school? Why would you go with them? Right? Then, after looking on social media, I'm hearing a lot of different things, which hasn't been fully confirmed because I haven't seen a police report in regards to what really happened. You're hearing that, they actually lured her there. There was even an alleged story that they took her bag and her money and her keys and everything to go home was in that, right? Let's run with that scenario for a minute. Let's just run with that scenario for a minute. Now, if you take my bag and you have my keys and my money and everything in it, if you grow your kids to think on their feet, and sometimes you don't necessarily have to, but you have to be teaching your kids how to do certain things so that they can actually know how to think on their feet, there's no way I'll be following you home to get my bag or following you to someone's house by myself. As a female where 7 boys or more are there, we ain't going nowhere, darling. I'll be talking to an adult. I'll be heading back to school. There is somebody that I can talk to say, hey, these boys have my bag. I have no money. I have no keys to go home with. Right? So we're running with that story here for a second. So let me just, continue there. So you head with these boys to where they are, and now you are ending up in this predicament. We got to teach our girls better. We'll have to teach our girls better because this is ridiculous. This is foolishness because there's no way in hell at my age or at that age, she's 12, 13, 14, something. There's no way you could have lured me in that. Trust and believe. And again, it falls right back down to the parents and what they're teaching them and how they're teaching their kids to protect themselves. All right. So let's go back to, what we were discussing, that possibility or, she went there willingly and all of that. Why is it that we're not growing our daughters to respect themselves and demand respect from everyone else around them? And if you don't get it, you walk away. Right? Why is your underage daughter having sex before her brain has even developed? This is a 12. I think she's a 12-year-old, if I'm not sure. I think it's a 12-year-old, but let's keep her within the 12, 13, 14 age bracket. Her brain has not developed. What do you know about, I wanted to say something right now, but I couldn't. But what do you know about laying down and doing that form of act? Because our kids are exposed to pornography. It's an open door to pornography. It's an open door to the internet where you can see all these things. And then we also, as the adults, are portraying these behaviors and thinking it's glamorous and having it on social media, because we're not even taking the initiative to actually protect our kids on social media and letting them know, hey, you're underage, your brain is underdeveloped. You don't need to be on social media. You have a phone, you have a tablet, you have a laptop, you're being blocked on it. You block their asses off social media. It's simple as that. But let's say we didn't take the initiative as a parent to do that. Then we have the irresponsible adults out there who are just putting everything on social media because everybody wants to know everything about your life. We are so open to seeing everything about your life. We want to know so much about your life that you're not even really showing everything about your life. You're showing what social media wants you to show. So you see the girls with the naked pictures, with the butts, with the lips, and that's the direction we're headed. Nobody's showing the real genuineness of having a family anymore, of living with a family, of taking care of your kids and how you do this. I want to learn. I want to see more of going on social media to see people talking about how and what they do for their kids. Oh, you're going to tell me, oh, it's there. You just need to go find it. Yeah, it's there. But why isn't that being more advertised more than the actual soft pornography that is being advertised on social media? Right? Now, let's go over to the boys for a second. Whether they're from a single parent home or a nuclear home, what in their right mind thought that it was okay to be doing this to a female, physically abusing her, sexually abusing her? What made you thought that this was okay? Is it a case that they're being exposed to these acts and they're seeing it and they're like, oh, I saw somebody do it, so it's okay. I think it's okay. Right? What in your right mind will make you think standing there and taking turns and videoing it was okay? What are these children being exposed to? Why aren't our children being brought up as children? What happened to a time when teenage boys wanted to just go over to their friends, ride their bicycles, go knock on doors and say, good evening, Miss Pam. Can Andre come out to play? And if it's a hell no, you know he ain't coming out for the rest of the day and you go find some other friends to play with. Like, what happened to those times when kids, all they want to do is play video games? What happened to a time where parents normalize knowing the parents of every friend or child that their children associate with? Then we females, and I'm really chastising our females right now. Like, this is a female time right now. We always sit down and we talk about how the men nowadays, how they treat you, how they abuse you, how they use you, and how it hurts. And we're so done with man. Right? But you as a mother, and then let me just include the dad now. So you as a mother, or you as a mother or a father, right? Bringing up a boy child, and you're not teaching your son how to treat a woman. So when your son grows up now and start acting the way that other men are acting towards you now, what are you going to say? Why are you not treating them that while they're growing up, this is how you treat girls. This is how you treat women. Right? Why aren't we teaching our boys to open doors for women? Pull out chairs for women. Stand when a woman enters the room. It does not matter where you're from. The ghetto, upper class, middle class, we all have literally the same opportunity. It might not come in ways that you wished or thought it would, like being born into it or it being handed to you, but the opportunities are there. So the opportunity, you need to take it and teach your child to do the right thing and give them a better chance at life. Then after watching all of this unfold on social media about this video and everything and all these kids, literally a few days later, there's another video out. And this again is about our kids. This time it's some boys from Hopewell School basically physically assaulting another boy. Now this boy is standing there so innocent. If you saw this video, you would be mad as hell. Now, boy standing there innocently and they're rubbing his face and all these things. Then they start to physically assault him. And then other boys join in. Again, if I truly tell you how I felt at the time of watching this video, I would be basically starting a riot. But let me just give you a little glimpse into what flashed into my mind. If it was my son, I would probably be crying under the mattress that Cartel used to record. Probably, strongly, probably. A very strongly, probably. Right? That's how I felt in the moment of watching that video. Right? I would so love to show you that video right now, but, you know, copyright and legalities, everything. But it's just a despicable video. Right? Where are we really growing these kids? Under a cellar? What are we teaching these kids? Why are these kids' future being destroyed before they can even live any life? We've had enough of this. This needs to stop. Now, let me just jump in on the music industry and influencer. Most of our music, the posts, the behaviors are basically just despicable by our influencers and music and artists these days. It's just... I mean, I literally know that, you know, some of the songs back then, they were, you know, despicable, but we now have social media to push everything out there. So probably when you were hearing those songs, you would maybe glimpse your ears from time to time, but back then you didn't have social media to be portraying these songs like crazy. Right? Now, if you listen to the type of music that we're instilling into our children's minds, right? And while a parent can do what they can, and, you know, we would say that they should not have their children exposed to this, there's only little and so much they can do about that. It takes a village to raise a child. So as much as how the parents might be doing, we also as the adults on the outside need to be doing our part. So if you're in a bus with a driver who's playing really disgusting songs, as an adult, you don't sit in the bus with the kids in the bus. You're going to say, hey, you need to turn that off. You got kids in the bus. Right? And then if it's going to be a back and forth thing with the driver or the conductor, then it's going to be like, okay, so we are going to the police station. Or I'm taking your license plates and we're going to the police station. And then the police officers that you're going to report it to better take it serious. This is how you're going to fix things in Jamaica. The simple things being resolved before they lead to bigger things is how we are going to resolve things in Jamaica. Right? So you're telling me when you listen to the songs that you would make your kids listen to, would you actually listen to these songs, right? Do you really strongly believe that the artists or the influencers that you guys are following so much and want to be like, do you really think that they're playing these songs for their kids to hear? Right? Do you really believe that? We as the adults do not take responsibility for our actions. We do not. Right? Both influencers, both artists, both regular people. We're not taking responsibility for our actions. We have influencers encouraging our girls to basically walk naked on the road, pose for the camera to share on social media, where more than half the people on social media actually don't like you. Like, them not like you. Right? All of this that is being portrayed is not true. It's not the true reality. It's just the fake reality of social media. And if you don't believe me, let's look at some facts for a moment. Most of these females influencers that are on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram are always wearing the latest styles with, most of their looks, basically have their boobs outside or their butt outside, makeup well done. They live in the best apartments. They're driving the nice cars, all of these things, right? And then you have the next part of that where, they're dating the most nice guys or most good looking guys. And oh, these guys spoil me. Guys, I got this for my birthday, my Coco Chanel, my Versace, my Balenciaga. I got all of these things and I want to thank my baby for giving me these things and blah, 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 blah. Now, what is true about them is that they always seem to be intimately involved with these men, right? But they just can't seem to settle down. So you'll be maybe watching them for like a couple of months, then they break up, or a couple years and then they break up. And then normally Jamaicans have this thing where, when they're breaking up, they got to make the whole world know exactly why they're breaking up. Nobody can break up in silence anymore. No, because you're on social media. You got to let the people know. You got to defend your name. So everybody got to know everything. Right? Now, when they're there now, they can't seem to settle down. And then they come and they were like, oh, they're so tired of men and blah, 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 and whatever. Sometimes you guys need to take a step back as females and realize that you are contributing to this in a lot of ways. Why would I want, as a man, let me tell you, as a real man, why would I want to marry a woman or settle down with a woman that has her boobs popping out, her butt popping out for the whole goddamn world to see? That is social media. It's not Jamaicans alone that are seeing your photos, your videos. You literally have the world looking at you naked. So everybody's lusting after the woman that you have. Do you realize that men can lust after your woman without actually seeing any body parts of her? Like seeing the parts that should be covered outside, like they can lust without that. Because I'm sure in winter overseas, you don't see people wearing these things, right? So when you come online and you complain about all the things men are doing, we are contributing to it. And when we talk about the music and the stuff that we are posting on social media, you don't want your kids to look at it. So why are you doing it to other people? Like, let's take Cardi B, for instance. Like, she does not play her music that she creates for y'all ears and y'all kids' ears to be played in her kids' ears. She even complained on a live on social media that she doesn't want to do some of the music that she does. She doesn't even want to promote it because of the things that it says. She doesn't want her little girl to be able to see, this is how mommy behaves. This is how mommy do things. This is how what mommy, sings. Young girls, wake up. You are beautiful just the way you are. You need no confirmation from no man or woman, right? You need no confirmation from an artist or an influencer. Come together and decide to do what is right, people, for our kids. Influencers, artists, you need to come together and do what is right for our people. Why is it that with all this violence that's happening amongst kids, it's not violence against kids, it's happening amongst kids? Why aren't we encouraging and taking our voices that we are as artists and influencers that have so many followers to say, hey, as an influencer, I'm coming together with this influencer so that we can teach our kids to stop being violent to each other. Stop treating people like this. Be a Michael Jackson and all the other artists back then when Africa needed people to stand up for them and they let their voice be heard. Do this for Jamaica artists and influencers of Jamaica. Let your voices be heard for something good other than brand deals. I just believe that if we take this genuine interest, you would see how many people that these influencers and artists can lead down this road to start focusing on what's better. And if we take the opportunity to do this, we will see such a change in Jamaica. It won't change overnight. I guarantee you it won't. But we will see gradual and steady change over time. Right? Our children need us. We are failing miserably. And we actually need to do something about that. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining the show. Remember to leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.